once a government official went to see Nansen and in the conversation relayed this. Joe Hashi said, "Heaven and earth and I are of the same root. All things and I are of the same substance." Isn't that amazing? Nansen pointed to a blossom in the garden and said, "People these days see the flower as though they are in a dream." Zen Mondo from the 2009 Zen Page-a-Day calendar, selected by David Schiller. Pedro Calderon de la Barca wrote, "What is life? A madness. What is life? An illusion, a shadow, a story. And the greatest good is little enough, for all life is a dream, and dreams themselves are only dreams." Hello once again, I'm Don Jackson with the heartbeat of the internet. If only you could peer into your lover's dreams, what do you think you would see? I have a dream catcher with me. Let's see how many dreams we can catch. This is a pretty good description of a dream catcher, according to a native North American legend, and I quote, "The dream catcher is the keeper of our nights. Hang your dream catcher in the window through which your dreams come, and let the dream catcher capture the bad dreams. It will keep them in its web until the first light of dawn, when the sun's rays will change them into dust, letting the nice dreams reach you by sliding on its soft feathers to allow you to sleep peacefully." What would you say is one of our most common dreams? I've got an idea, and I'll share it with you shortly. All I'm saying is that to a greater or lesser degree, we are a species living in the dream catcher. I hate the way that sounds. Phony transcendentalism rings on the ear like pure tin. But we don't have the right words for this part of it either. We may have to invent some eventually, but in the meantime, Dreamcatcher will have to do. End quote. An excerpt from Stephen King's bestseller, Dreamcatcher, published in '01 by Scribner and made into a major motion picture. Now, the movie and the book are not for the faint of heart, but I thought the quote appropriate to this webcast. Wyatt said, "Since in a net I seek to hold the wind. It may be impossible to catch the wind, but snaring dreams is another matter entirely. Some believe that dreams pass through the mind as the wind blows through the trees or a wheat field. We watch a parade of images float through our mind as our body rests in the deep of the night. As such, we have no control about the kind of dreamlike images that are released by our subconscious. Wouldn't it be a comforting thought to know that there existed a dream sieve, a web to filter out the nightmares from ever reaching the dreamer, but not impeding the passage of all the sweet dreams? That comforting thought for the simple destruction of all the nightmares we've ever experienced throughout our lives is what's behind this webcast. But the sieve must be flexible enough to ensure our beautiful dreams are allowed to play in the dreamscape of our minds. By the way, one of the most common dreams would have to be that of flying. This is an excerpt from the chapter Echoes of Anger from the book The Heart Speaks. A Cardiologist Reveals the Secret Language of Healing by Mimi Garneri, MD, a Touchstone book published in 2006. And I quote, "Research has documented the healing power of confiding in others." James W. Pennebaker's research on the correlation between suppressing our stories and illness on the one hand, and telling our stories and increased health on the other, is especially compelling and well researched. As Russ himself later said, "Nothing got better for me until I began to talk about it." Some lines later, but the deepest indicators of Russ's success weren't his lowered cholesterol and triglyceride levels, but what I found him working on one afternoon, an intricate, many-threaded web with red beads woven into its center. "What's this?" I asked him. "A dream catcher to ward off nightmares. We believe bad dreams become entangled in the sinews and threads. You hang it near where you sleep. This one's for you." He handed it to me and I held it up in my hand, and then I saw that the table behind me was covered with these intricate ornaments. This creative side of Russ had been submerged deep under his illness. Now, his works of art hang throughout our offices at Scripps, a reminder of the great energy that had been locked inside. So many different authors have shared the legend of the Dreamcatcher. Here's another. Lynn Blackman and Kathy Gorey, in their book, A Place to Dream, a Warner Treasures book published in 1997, wrote, and I quote, "To many North American tribespeople, dreams hold great power. The Native Americans bend hoops of twigs and weave them with sinew to hang above their beds and babies' cradle boards to snare bad dreams. Legend says that the bad dreams will be trapped in the webbing and destroyed by the first rays of the morning sun. Good dreams will float through and enter the heart of the dreamer." End quote. Let's peer into the dreams of a man and that of a butterfly. Chu Wang wrote, "I do not know whether I was then a man dreaming I was a butterfly, or whether I am now a butterfly dreaming I am a man." Charles Kingsley in Water Babies wrote, "Clear and cool, clear and cool, by laughing shallow and dreaming pool." This is from the book A Dictionary of Greek and Roman Mythology by Michael Stapleton and published by Bell, a division of Crown. And I quote, "According to Hesiod, dreams were the daughters of night. The idea of a god of dreams is much later and usually attributed to Ovid, who named 3 sons of sleep." Stapleton goes on to say, the first one is, and again I quote, "Morpheus, who sends dreams of human form." Meleager, translated into English by Pete Wiggum, wrote, "Night hid the sun. Your face consumes my dreams. Others feel sleep as feathered rest. Mine, but in flame, refigures your image lit in me." Marcia Norman, quoted in Simple Abundance, a daybook of comfort and joy by Sarah Bon Brannock, said, "Dreams are illustrations from the book your soul is writing about you." Homer in the Odyssey wrote, Dreams surely are difficult, confusing, and not everything in them is brought to pass for mankind. For fleeting dreams have two gates. One is fashioned of horn, and one of ivory. Those which pass through the one of sawn ivory are deceptive, bringing tidings which come to naught. But those which issue from the one of polished horn bring true results when a mortal sees them. And it was Virgil who wrote, "There are two gates of sleep. One is of horn, easy of passage for the shades of truth. The other, of gleaming white ivory, permits false dreams to ascend to the upper air." In that sense, not a dream catcher per se, but one that allows the false ones, the nightmares, to escape. This is My Familiar Dream by Paul Verlaine. I often dream strange, penetrating dreams of one whom I adore and who loves me, whose image changes yet unchanging seems, who loves me well and understandingly. No darkness is there in my heart for her. For her alone, its secrets all are plain. She cools my pale, moist forehead, while her prayer restores me, and her tears console my pain. And is she fair or dark? I do not know. Her name, 'tis musical, recalling those of loved ones whom life exiled long ago. Her gaze is like a statue's, and her voice is grave and calm, and is withdrawn, like those of dear ones gone beyond the bourne. Euripides in Alcestis wrote, "A sweet thing, for whatever time, to revisit in dreams the dear dead we have lost." You could also add to that particular quote by Euripides, not necessarily those who have died and gone ahead on whatever journey is before us, but relationships that have died in the past. My first experience with a dream catcher was before my daughter was born. My wife and I were in a baby furniture store. We were looking for the baby's crib. While we were waiting for the owner to finish with a customer, I spied a little web-like net hanging on the wall just behind the cash register, and with it was a fanciful legend that inspired me to copy it down so that I could share it with you. The Native Americans and Canadians believed that, and I quote, "Dreams both good and bad descended from the night sky. Bad dreams were captured in a web and held there until the rays of the morning sun evaporated them. Good dreams slipped through the web to the dreamer." The dream catcher concept, it seems, is a fairly universal idea, and the legend has remained the same through many, many incarnations, as I've demonstrated in this webcast. But does it really have merits for adults? We've seen the benefits for a young child. Maybe we as adults need more powerful magic to dispel a spate of bad dreams. In their book, A Place to Dream, Lynn Blackman and Kathy Corey suggest that herbal smoke sweeps the web of old dreams from the room. End quote. But if you're not into incense, then you might consider a dream pillow. Charlotte Bronte was quoted as saying, "A ruffled mind makes a restless pillow." Blackman and Corey write, "Sleep may open mothering arms, clothe us in bliss, or slip elusively beyond our weary grasp. She is a whimsical tyrant who likes her comforts. Luxury linens invite her into our bed. Puffy comforters and soft blankets, piled as high as whipped cream, keep us snug, and furry bedmates are safe companions for our midnight travels. Sweet slumber lays her head on pillows to dream. Beautiful dream pillows filled with aromatic herbs will summon desire, stimulate our psychic centers, help us dream in color, or give us peaceful sleep." End quote. In this book, there is a whole section devoted to the kinds of sleep herbs you'll need and how to make these pillows that just might inspire your own sweet dreams. But that aside, what a comforting legend to know that somewhere there exists a web small enough to snare even the tiniest bad dream, and yet big enough to allow even the smallest flicker of light from a good dream to pass right through. Good night, sweet dreams. I'm Don Jackson.